What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Ace Metaphor, and this is another episode of the Ace of Hearts podcast, or whatever we are deciding to call this thing. I got another great conversation lined up for you guys. So listen, what I need you to do is I'm going to post the question. It is: do men give too much access while single and while dating? Comment below. So I want everybody to answer that question right away. I got Brandon Alexander Williams with me. So if you can, in 20 seconds or less, tell my audience about yourself.
What's good, y'all? I'm a poet, MC, and author, and former professor at the University of Iowa. But me and Ace go back, man, to the spoken word scene, the Midwest spoken word scene. But I'm a, married father with children, and I'm just happy, man, living life.
Hey man, that's where it's at, man. That's where it's at. How has before we get into that, how has having children changed? Like what was life before children like, and what is life after children for a father like?
So before children, like you got free time, and like your time is unassigned. You have a bunch of like
Yeah.
time that's just unassigned, and then when you have children, you have to literally make time and carve out time for things that you want to do, especially things that you want to do with your wife and with your, you know what I'm saying, um, with the children too. And then you
Yeah.
start to understand that like private time and me time is sectioned off for everybody, in addition to private time for self. And so that's
Yeah.
the hard juggle. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got to figure out
Yeah.
time for
Yeah.
you. She got to figure out time for her. Then y'all got to figure out time together. Then one-on-one time with the seed. You know what I'm saying? Two
Yes,
on
sir.
one
Yes,
time with the
sir.
seed, and then independent time.
All right, so listen, before we get started, there's a lot of people confused about what we mean when we say access.
Hmm.
So, do men give too much access when single and while dating? So,
Man,
what do you mean when
man.
we
So
ask
like,
this question?
so it's like when we talk about access, we talk about like as I um this the last relationship that I got into um prior to engagement, I took a inventory, if you will, of just um exes or just old flames, if you will. And I'm like, okay, or even friendships that were inappropriate. And I said, okay,
Mhm.
what who doesn't get to go into the next step of my life to have
Yeah,
access to? Access at the least could be having your phone number or being able to contact you or text you. Because, prime example, and some people don't mean harm. Other people do sometimes, right? You know,
yeah.
hey, somebody know you got somebody significant other, your birthday comes. They tell you happy birthday on your Instagram,
Uh oh.
and then happy birthday on your Twitter,
Uh
your
oh.
Facebook,
Uh
and then they
oh.
want to text you happy birthday
Uh oh.
at 10 p.m. Like, wait a second, this is after hours. But peep this though. But peep this. It's even giving you access for me to check you and tell you don't hit me at that time.
Woo!
Because I give
There
you
it is.
privilege to like you get a privileged specific phone call, and it's like mm-mm. So anyone who doesn't understand, right, who might have just been a friend, you feel me? Like a friend and
Yeah.
nothing ever happened, right? But also it's like to keep it real, bro. Like when we were single, it was women that we might have like introduced ourselves to or became acquainted with simply because we was attracted to them. We may not
Yeah.
have pursued them for whatever reason, or we decided not to, but because that was the initial thing, I had to get rid of. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I had to get rid of those ties and that access because sometimes, like a lot of times you can have women friends who are like doing wifely type stuff for you that's non-sexual. You know what I'm saying? Like just
Yeah.
and looking out, overlooking out. That's what I call it. Overlooking out. Of course, when we're single, we appreciate it. We're like, oh dang, Shorty cooked me a meal. Shorty, you know what I'm saying? Showed up. She did my booking information. Da da da. Da. And I appreciate that. But it's like, yo, once you have a wife now, once you have somebody you're committed to, it's like there's no space for
Yeah.
multiple sisters to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like when I took that inventory, I'm just like, dang, I regret all of the arbitrary friendships and
Yeah.
relationships that I made along the way because now it's like, but you got to do that. You got to cut
Yeah.
that. If not, then you're welcoming access to your marriage, to your friends, And to them, and it's like, why would they not think it's okay to, you know what I'm saying, to step in the boundaries they were in? Because of course they'll say, all right, no brainer. I know I can't, you know what I'm saying, give you a kiss on the cheek, a friendly kiss on the cheek and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But even some women don't even know that. So it's like,
Yeah.
nah, it's what's up. You know what I'm saying? But you got to do this with all the other. You got to, like I said, you got to take inventory and find out who else did I give access to. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, in what areas? And it's deadly for men because we're taught. I was listening to the episode. I forgot the brother's name. Forgive me, but
Aaron.
yeah, he was talking about like just basically as men how we're groomed to go after women. And the thing is, like, to use the metaphor for hunting, like no one expects to be like beaten up by a deer or a buck when they're hunting,
Yeah.
but you can. You know what I'm saying? You can't. You're in dangerous territory. And so
Yes.
you as a man are endangering yourself by giving so much access to yourself simply because you're trying to hunt or because somebody told you you got to chase, you got to do all this, da 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 da, and you putting yourself in potential harm's way. I had a conversation with my friend, one of my close friends, and I was joking around. I said, bro, you know what? I said, if there was a group of women called like the Heartbreak Avengers that like just lured men into like hotel rooms or houses and killed them, I was like, I said, niggas will die. He was like,
Right. They would.
he said, bro, niggas will die for a fact. I was like, that's a shame. Like, why? And then it ain't got to be no, hey, if you come here, I'm going to give you something. It's just like, hey, let me invite you. Like, we were so trusting because as men, like I say, our goal when we was on bullshit, when we was being fuckboys, we was going, you know what I'm saying? We were out here trying to hunt, not thinking about the danger.
Yeah.
And we don't think about it. And of course, you know, you hear cautionary tales like this dude's like, oh, I met this girl and she was crazy. It's like, no, but what if you meet a woman that like would cut your throat?
Yeah.
You're putting yourself in risk of that, period. And so when I did that inventory, I was like, dang, I've been out here. Like, and so I started looking at access differently, like, because also when you give when you set boundaries, you give privileged access to your homies that's on the inner circle. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
it's certain people that might be your contact that I would never give it to without contacting you first. Or like without contacting your management. You know what I'm saying? Like because I'm like, me and Tony go back to me crashing on his couch after Poetry in Motion. Like that's my man's, and it's a boundary line. And I know you famous now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not gonna just be like, oh hey, I know you know Tony, I know him too. I don't care.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't care if this your cousin. I don't know your cousin. I know you. So I wouldn't even give your cousin access to you. You feel me? Because it
Yeah.
could not be. And so
Hey,
yeah.
going back to your point, want you to elaborate on this before we go further. When you were saying that analogy was so, I have never really heard somebody dissect it that way. But you're right. When you're hunting, you're not thinking that okay, this deer can actually mess you up too. When they do, them deer, hey, let a deer do one of these to you. Like it's bad, right?
What?
So
Yeah.
I remember we was having a conversation one time, and you was like, one of the things that we as men sometimes need to work on or be more noticeable about is how offensively minded we are. Like we play offense so much when it comes to approaching women, going after women, that our defense doesn't get any work. So now when it's time to reject a woman's advances towards us because we have a lady or whatever, because we haven't been in constant practice of denying access when we were single, it makes it hard because we don't know how, like all we had was a strong offensive game. Like we don't know how to duck and dodge. So my question to you is, A, can you elaborate on that point? And then B, what are some things that men can do to be more defensive when it comes to dating and restricting access to people that don't need it?
Man, the truth of the matter is that man, men could take a page out of the book of like the stuff that Steve Harvey is trying to teach women. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, how are you preaching to the choir? You know, it's like, oh well, men don't act right, so here's how to circumvent him not acting
Yeah.
right. It's like she's not the
Yeah.
problem. You feel me? So I would say, like, honestly, like, really on some textbook, like saving yourself for marriage type stuff, bro. Like, but I guess to answer your question, to give like practical answers, like, I would say, like, I got a poem called Dear Brother, and at the end,
Mhm.
I say, learn to limit your access. Like, no, you can't come to my house. I don't know where you at yet. Like, let's start there. Like
Yeah.
that's a huge access point because also once again when hunting, it's like, well, if I can get from a public space to a private space, then my chances of hunting are stronger. So it's like that's the point in which danger is in there. So it's like let's like think about mock some of the same boundaries that we were given when we ran into sisters. Like, no, you can't
Yeah.
come up my crib until I know you for a certain amount of time. But I'm even willing to say
Yeah.
now we gonna meet in public spaces. Like, you feel me? Like, I would do something like that. Like, and be like, yo, we can't. We're gonna meet in public spaces until, you know what I'm saying? We 6 months or something. And somebody's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's extreme, and it's like, that's what it is. But also, sisters are so used to dudes having weak defense that they may get offended by that. Like,
Ooh.
what you mean? He talking about some I can't come by his house until we 6 months in because it look like BS. Because also dudes are cool. I'm not gonna bring you around because I want you to see my friends because that's gonna give away the
Yup. Yup. Yup.
you know what I'm saying? And we gotta own that. We gotta own that too. That PTSD is out there.
So it kind of feeds into each other, like, because to your point, to be honest with you, and ladies, I want you to comment below if you agree. You know what? We was talking about this on Instagram one day, so I ain't gonna get too far into it and off subject. But if a man, if a man was approaching you, right, and you were talking to this man, and let's say 6 months go by and he hasn't made a sexual advance towards you, or he hasn't invited you to his living space, right? Would you feel like something else is going on just based off of those different facts? So I want you guys to put that in the comment section below, and I'll read your comments after asking Brandon this question. So here's the thing then. When it comes to access, what's the danger of not limiting your access?
The danger, several dangers. The danger of not limiting your access. The most, I think, detrimental dangers are you emotional exposure, right?
Mm.
So it's like you may, and I'm only speaking from my past. You feel me, right? So being identifying as a former, as a reformed, right, fuckboy, when you limit your access, because you go in with one thing in mind, but you're exchanging so many different things. You're exchanging spirits, you're exchanging emotions, and all of that. And so you risk emotional endangerment, you risk physical endangerment, and you risk like things that you have to unpack in therapy later. You know what I'm saying? I've been in therapy for the past 4 years willingly. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a stronger effect, I believe, because a lot of times when people go to therapy, it's like they're told to go or they're made to go. So the first like 3 months in, they're unpacking the fact that they didn't want to go. And it's like
Yeah.
one of my favorite MCs would just talk casually about going to therapy. And so it made me interested about it. And so I started going, and I encourage I think every single person would benefit from having a therapist. And then every couple would benefit from having a separate one just because
Yeah.
you're able to see yourself. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think the dangers for sure is like heavy emotional, different types of ties, man, that you have to untie, and soul ties, if you will, like all of that. It's dangerous. That later on, excuse me, you can't let go. Or you feel like you can't shake something, or you feel like something's come over you. Spirits jump, bro. That
Yeah.
spirit of neediness will jump on you. That spirit of, you know what I'm saying? And then once again, we also, as you and your brother was talking about on the podcast, there's things you need to unpack individually that you don't
Yeah.
need to drag someone else through in a relationship. And so it's like,
Yeah.
ultimately, I believe that you're not ready to. Brothers ain't ready to, but that ain't what we taught. And so what I want to do is teach the new generation that, but also practice it so they can see it in real time.
Yeah.
Because we look cool, bro. You got to know it's young men that look up to you because they're like, yo, Ace look cool. And so that cool factor matters, right? Because we remember brothers who look cool growing up that was mentors, and we remember brothers that look lame. And we like, I don't want to be like the lame looking ones. You feel me? And so when we make like being married cool and make being faithful cool and show that and show what we do on a regular basis, not like, okay, like I'm just like for the picture, I'm a married man and I'm faithful, but you don't see what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. Like brothers need to see that. Young boys
Yeah.
need to see that.
And to kind of jump on a couple points that you said, I think it's very, 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 very important to note that I'm glad when you sent the topic, you said while single and when single and while dating, because here's the thing. Sometimes we cut off new access when we start dating. We just don't cut off the old access. So now here we are. We have friends, confidants, friends with benefits, exes, and all these different people that now come and have that, like you said before, that access to be able to text us, to be able to like our pictures. And you got to think that liking of your pictures seems harmless, right? Until you see that when they like it, you get a thought of them.
Dopamine hit.
Let's say you were having sex with this person. They like your picture, you see that like, and now your mind may go back to a sexual encounter you may have had with them, or it may go back to reminiscing about these good times. And the thing about infidelity, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical, it all starts with a thought. It's a thought that we get. Sometimes we need to prevent those seeds from being planted in the first place. Then now you don't have to worry about how do I get these ideas out of my head. But when those seeds are constantly being thrown at you because we're not restricting that access after we get into committed relationships, now what happens is one of them, no matter how much defense you try to get, one of them lands on the soil, you know?
Yeah.
And then that might be, let me just DM her, see how she doing. And then now you start to water those thoughts. And then that's how it slowly leads. So I think one of the points I wanted just to emphasize is, fellas, when it comes to restricting access, it's not just about not creating new access points with different people. It's about going back to those relationships and auditing those relationships and saying, is the relationship we have appropriate to be bringing into? Because here's the thing. When you get in a committed relationship, now you two live in the same spiritual house. The demons you give access to your house is now giving access to her house. Y'all live together in the same spiritual house. So it's important for us to be considerate of our partner as well. We may be like, okay, I feel like it's okay for me to continue this relationship because you know what? I feel like nothing's going to happen. But how would your spouse feel about it? How would your companion feel about it? Because she lives in your spiritual house now as well. So those are a couple of different points. Now, Brandon, let me address the question I asked the ladies real quick, and then we'll get back to you. And if you in a rush, let me know. Like, I get talkative. So, okay. So a lot of people, when we were talking, I asked the question, if you were dating a man for 6 months and he has not made a sexual move at you or invited you to his crib, would you think something was wrong? And Brandon, we got a lot of yeses. A lot of yeses. Now, it was a few women that was like, nah, I wouldn't think nothing is wrong. But I think this question kind of, and I want to get your opinion on it. Mm-hmm. Some of those, I don't even want to call it, some of those traits that men encourage men to do, right? So when you have a man, when you were growing up, maybe men encouraged us to be more promiscuous, gave us credit for talking to them. I know I was in conversations with my older male family members while they were discussing actively treating on another auntie or grandma, you know what I'm saying? And everybody involved. And it's like so normal, like this is, hold on. First of all, I'm talking to my brother here, but this is something I'll never say to y'all without me talking to him. So y'all just be a fly on the wall real quick. But Brandon, it always amazes me how normal guys can talk about cheating. Like you can talk about cheating and it's so normal. And my point in saying this is, it's because I feel like as men, we encourage the over sexualization of ourselves. And it is not just from men though, because sometimes a woman doesn't want to, like, she's like, okay, I want to wait 6 months. And she'll tell her brother, like, I want to wait 6 months before having sex, but let 4 months go by. He ain't tried. She may be thinking that he's not attracted to her. So sometimes I feel like both sexes are now going into this same thing and saying, okay, we want our men to go after her, be aggressive, make the first move, but yet and still sometimes I feel like this is perpetuating some things that as men we need to get back under control. So my question to you is,
we got to get rid of.
is there a realistic path? Realistic path. Like, how can we do it? Like a realistic path that men can be like, you know what? I think I need to have her wait 90 days. Like, she needs to wait 6 months. Like, is there a way that we can do that and still keep a woman's attention as well?
I believe so, man. I think that, I think that what's important is that I want to address something real quick. You just said a second ago. I think when women say things like, hey, I want him to have made a move on me in a certain amount of time, I don't think they know what they're asking for.
Yeah.
But they don't know what demons may come with that, right? You spoke to, in another podcast, you spoke to like you being exposed to pornography at an early age. I was too. I might have been like 12 or 13. I'm not ready for that as a young boy, but that shaped how I saw women. That shaped an idea of me lusting after women and normalizing that. So when I saw, by the time I get to my 20s and I see a naked body, it's no big deal to me, but it should have been one. You know what I'm saying? So that it's like, this is sacred, this is precious, right? So if I see bodies that way, I don't see my body that way, which is why I was convinced to, do it. But anyhow, to answer your question, though, I think that honestly, man, I'm gonna tell my son, like when he grows up, I'm gonna tell him like, don't have sex until you're married. And I know it's gonna sound so far-fetched. I'm just gonna be like, man, and if you happen to get to that point, then we'll have a conversation about it. What I think helps though, I will tell them that there are gonna be some women who may not be interested in that because they've been exposed to it. And they're like, I ain't used to that. I at least gotta have a man. You know what I'm saying? It gotta be a year in. We're gonna have to do something. And it's like, no, like because that's precious and it's not supposed to be given or shared with multiple people. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. And you're exchanging too many things that you're not aware of and that you're not ready for. Just like how like a lot of artists sign contracts and they don't know that it's a clause that's signing the way they publish it in their royalties. You feel me? That's what we end up doing at a young age, bro. We sign away the royalties to all of these different entanglements and different spirits on our bodies, but it's normalized. And they say the devil's in the details. You feel me? So it's like it's always the not that bad, but it's. I think saving, maybe giving into still touching, and you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, because human touch is that can be healing. You feel me? But like I say, that's what I'm gonna encourage my son to, and that's what I'm gonna tell young men to do. Like even if you've done it already, then like start a new path with it. But I think that that's a solution only because like, and I didn't take that path, and I wasn't trying to hear that when I was younger either, right? But the reason why I'm here now is because I have so much unpacking to do that I've done and still have to do that I know came from that I know came from promiscuity, and it came from giving people access to me sexually. And so it's like I don't want that for my son. I don't want none of that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that it starts with that, and I think that of course during the process he's gonna lose women that he liked, or that he was really I really liked her, but she was she didn't want to be with me because she thought that I was weird because I wanted to save myself to marriage. You know what I'm saying? I can probably count on one hand how many brothers I know that still did it. You know what I'm saying? And they were of course like church musicians. You know what I'm saying? And so but I can tell that certain things are foreign to them because when we breach certain topics, they don't share or they're timid about it, and there's still an innocence there. And I admire that. I ain't gonna front. I admire that, bro. Like I don't like who I am during weak moments because of what I was exposed to or what I exposed myself willingly to. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that, and so I'm changing. And therapy, you know what I'm saying, is just the start of it. But you got to do the work, and so this prevents you having to do more work in the future. And so I think that the time that what I'm saying to stop. And I want to compliment and just applaud any sisters who like maybe felt bad about waiting or felt like they were out of not cool or just what I'm saying, like outcasted for waiting. I'm sorry for brothers that left you because you ain't want to give it up. Like I'm sorry for them because they were just doing operating with this false sense of reality, with this crooked sense of reality, if you will, because of what you're used to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's the thing about that though. It's getting harder now. Let me tell you why.
Internet.
One of the biggest access points we have is now to strangers, and and they're entering through our eyes. Think about it. I mean, okay, let's say you avoid pornography, right? But then you download TikTok and all you see is bust it. It's a little busted challenge. Now let me tell you something, Brandon. I'll be honest with y'all. Now it wasn't my fault. It was just everywhere, and it's like now it's a burlesque challenge. Now it's and so it becomes hard. So I think for men, and we're specifically talking about men, and these things can be applicable to women as well. But with men, we have to be intentional, and I think it's about being intentional with the denying of our access point, because it's not a passive action. It is a thing that you have to actively go out of your way every day to say, how can I deny access? How can I not click on this TikTok video so TikTok don't show me more of these? How can I do this and do that? And those are the ways that we can restrict access, even to people that we don't know. Because like I said, that is I'm glad you brought up pornography. That's just one of those biggest things, like those things that keep those sexual desires going. And then think about it. Now you with one girl, and you used to like on the screen, not in real, well, sometimes in real life, but on the screen, you used to, in a 30-minute segment, being able to go from seeing 20 women, scrolling down your little, porn site feed, engage in sexual activity. And now your brain is so wired to have all these different stimulations that sometimes one woman, no matter how great she is, can't really, it's hard to have her compete with all those ghosts that you're dealing with. So I just encourage men to really be more, but it's something that we have to start early. And let me tell you why it's difficult, not impossible, but it's difficult. I remember the pressure. I was one of the last people out of my friends group to have sex. And I remember being so pressured that I lied about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I would lie, like, yeah, I had sex. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And it is. So even if, like my mom, she grew up Jehovah's Witness, so we weren't supposed to be having sex. And so all the people that I cared about that were close to me they knew that, we were all on the same page of trying to have sex until marriage. But even the people that I would go to, they was called the Kingdom Hall. Boy, we were still, you feel me? Like, it's just, I think what happens is this. I heard a statement before. It was somebody that said youth is wasted on the young. It's like, if you could have your 30-year-old mind and your 18 or 25-year-old body, man, you would make so many different decisions. But it's like when you go back and you're 18 and you're 19 and you're 20 and you think that you're unbreakable, you think that nothing can touch you, you think that it won't happen to you. Now you're having those children out of wedlock. Now you're getting those STDs. Now you're creating, like you discussed, those soul ties. Now you are getting your heart broken, getting in relationships you never should have been in because you were having sex. And then now all that trauma, when you get 30 and ready to settle down, is still there. And you know why it's harder for brothers a lot of times? Is because, just as you said, we're not talking to anybody about it. So all that hurt, those pain, those relationships, those times, like a lot of women would tell me, they would be like, Ace, how come guys don't feel bad? How come they don't feel? How come they're not hurt after relationships? Let me tell you this. They are. But the thing is, they're being destructive because they keeping it on the inside. They'll keep it on the inside, and it's like decaying inside. So let me
real quick. I want to draw a parallel, like something that still happens, and that is not as much so much because of COVID, but like barbershop, beauty salon, right? That's the village. That will always be the village because that's the place that we won't outsource. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna let no other folk. We'll buy food from other folk, right? We'll do business with other folk, but we ain't gonna let nobody else touch our hair. And so forever, the barbershop and the beauty salon is always gonna be the Black village, right? That's where it resides. Now, in those villages, right? Let's say in the beauty salon, a woman walk in and she's like, look, he proposed. Everyone in that beauty salon is gonna cheer and scream up and down, even if they got bad relationships, even whatever, even if they haters on the low, they're gonna cheer the consensus, right? The vast majority is gonna cheer for that. Now, let's say another woman walks in and she's like, yeah, girl, that was James that dropped me off. That's number 6. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking these niggas. I'm getting money, whatever. Every woman in the shop is not going to co-sign that. Most of them going to be quiet behind their magazines. And one elder might even say like, "Nah, sister, that ain't right. You need to respect
Yeah.
yourself." Now let's say in the barbershop, right? The dude come in like, "Hey man, I'm getting married next month." Oh man, why you do that? And then on the one of the barbers might be like, "Hey man, fuck what they say, man. That shit dope. That's what's up, man."
Yeah.
Like secretly praise him, but his boys watching that, and I was a boy watching that, and it's like, okay, so if I do that, people gonna secretly praise me, and when you're young, you want to be accepted. You feel me? I can't help not want to be accepted if I'm 8, 9, 10, 11, even 12, right? But that lasts on you. You know what I'm saying? And so, then another brother, walks in and yeah, man, that's Tina. And they're like, dang. And everybody's like commenting on her body. You feel me? And like
Yeah.
lusting with their eyes at this woman that he just told them about. So he didn't even bring her in on no sacred, like, don't look at my woman type stuff. You feel me? So it's like, this is the type of environment that we grow up in. And all of that adds to the desensitization of making ourselves special, making relationships special. And all of that is centered around sex and over sexualizing ourselves and women. And so it comes to the point that when crimes like everybody was once an innocent child. So the same person that's R. Kelly was the same person that was just a womanizer that chose not to be attracted to children.
Yeah.
You feel me? It comes from the same seed. It comes from that same seed of perversion. Because when we think of someone being a pervert, pervert just means it's twisted or it's wicked a certain way. It doesn't necessarily mean only, what I'm saying, like pedophilia and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It just means that you looking at it slanted in a wrong way, in a way other than it should be looked at. And so we get walked into that, bro, like under the guise of coolness, but also under the guise sometimes of, oh, this is educational. Oh, I'm showing you the porn because it's educational. It's like, no, no, no.
Yeah.
Children not ready for that, man. Little boys not ready to see that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so, what I think is powerful for us, bro, is that we can't passively pass legislation and be like, yeah, y'all shouldn't do that. It's like, no, we gotta actively talk about it, and then we gotta live it, and we gotta do, excuse me, we gotta do the opposite things. It almost seems like women are on the same accord when it comes to like praising what's healthy, right? Their actions may show differently, right? But for the most part, the forefront of black womanhood, what it is to what's cool and all that, like I say in the beauty salon, the consensus is don't be on no bullshit. Is if you're doing right, I'm gonna applaud you, sister. You know what I'm saying? Even if my shit ain't together. And so we need to be on that same type of time, and it's going to be effective, man. Like it's going to work. It's not gonna. And here's the thing, brothers that's gonna see this. It's not gonna feel cool. It's not going to because
Yeah.
so get that out your head. Don't think that when I do it, it's gonna give you like a sense of gratification. You ain't gonna get that gratification until the boy that you was mentoring at 8 is 28 and he's like engaged to be married.
Yep.
That's when he's gonna be like, oh, no, not even that. Once he gets married and he's mentoring your cousin's son, that's when it's gonna hit you. You're gonna be like, yo, this seed I planted trickled down to my family members' offspring. And they want to be like him. And I'm glad that he looks cool enough for them to want to be like him. And so I think it's important, man. Like we underestimate and I don't know why we underestimate influence because we talk about how much we were influenced. So we got to get to work, and we got to stay at work, and we got to reach out to them. And it starts with simply speaking to black boys that you see. If you see them, they're a part of your village. It's very rarely that they just flew into, Dayton or flew into St. Louis or Chicago and was visiting. No, they live around here. They see you. And so it starts with having a conversation with them. And then it may be
And
a second conversation next time you see them.
that is so true. You know why that's so true? It's so true because I think about even the high school analogy. You had that brother working at working a not so great job at an age, he in his 30s, 40s age, working a job that a 15-year-old also do. And he'll look at you and he'll be like, pay attention in school, do your schoolwork. Trust me, you're gonna thank me later. Your life will be better later. Right now, I know it's cool. You think it's cool to skip class and not focus and be a class clown, but this is where you end up.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, you know how many men get to their 30s and their 40s and they're lonely They're empty.
Yep.
They have 7 kids that now they ain't taking care of. The kids don't like them. They ain't been in their life. And it's that same concept that we need to have with our children and these, when especially the boys when they're going into adolescence. Like, listen, I know you think having sex with every woman you meet right now is cool. I know you think it ain't gonna have an effect on you. But then you have the brothers with positive experiences, like, but look, I did this, and look at my life. Look how happy I am. Look at the wife I have, the children I have. I'm involved in my family. Then you should have brothers that can tell the opposite stories. But here's let me tell you the funny part about it. Boy, you have brothers at 35 without no connection, no nothing, still acting like that's the stuff. Like, hold on, you 45, man. You ain't got nobody you can trust. You ain't got nobody you can depend on. If you lose your faculties right now, you ain't got nobody that's going to be in the hospital with you, holding you down and making sure the nurse is giving you medicine. And you call that living the life just because you are having empty sex every once in a while? Like, so I think we really need to make it to where our adolescent boys see the end goal. And then really make, like you said, make it a cool thing. Like, make it a cool thing for them to understand that. And I feel like women will be more satisfied with us making that choice, and we'll be more satisfied with the women that are satisfied with us. Because I'll tell you this, and I don't want to get too talkative, man. Sometimes when you are used to having so many options, like you go to buffets all the time, right? You know, it's a person at I don't know if y'all had like a Golden Corral, right? You know what a Golden Corral is? It's a person that'll pick going to a Golden Corral over like a fancy high steakhouse, right? Because they like, man, this Golden Corral, I can eat about 20 different things at this Golden Corral. You feel me? Because they're so used to having options that they don't care about quality. And when you get a quality meal, you don't got 30 things on your plate, but you got 3 well put together dishes. You got quality, taste, no preservatives, all natural, vegan, gluten-free, good for you. And it's like, when you haven't trained your brain the right way, you will convince yourself that going to Golden Corral beats going to this fancy steakhouse because you get more there. And it's cheaper.
And really the cost that we spend, man, it's different. It's not monetary. It's like, it's time, it's quality. And so the thing is, also what I want to say is, like, there are sisters who have experienced brothers who have saved themselves and were patient with them. And they found out later on, it's stuff that like, bro, think about all the stuff that you discovered with like your first partner, or say first 2 partners, that you discovered about yourself, even about like your personal techniques when it came to that intimacy. It's like, once you are like, it's like there's no newness to it. And so you can get to a boredom point, or get to a point where it's like you're not energized. And so it's like that type of stuff, like, people don't see that in the future. That's why so many old men out here, and not even old men, just older men, that's like you say, it's like in their 40s, that's like popping Viagra and stuff like that. It's because you spent yourself all the way up, and you set yourself up for failure. But like, what I want to share, man, is like, there's a piece I got called Dear Brother. I'm not sure if I did on the Battle of the Sexes, but I want to spit half of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I talk about like maturing. And so like, I say, dear brother, I love you. No extra sauce on it. No bruh with it. Awkward, uncomfortable. Love, just love. No condition on it. I know you struggle with the women, homie. I do too, but damn arbitrary fishing, homie. It ain't my mission, homie. Nor my hobby or my fate to keep hunting for sport where my body is the bait. If I could go back, I probably would have waited. It's like I probably would be 5 years married to somebody now with a smaller body count. I ain't got this shit figured, homie. I'm just trying now, doing my best, trying not to ruin my flesh. I don't wish to slang dick no more to random chicks no more, just for instant gratification that leaves post-orgasm temptation and lust. 9 months later, she making the fuss, adding to giving you permanent attitude, same face as Smokey's mama when she say make it enough. I used to feel like God when they moan daddy, but lately I'm stuck. Now I never want to be called that shit. That's some old Electra complex shit. Gender opposite of Oedipus, dog whistle rhetoric, Don Juan pimping. I'm good on that medicine. I'm not tripping. Words mean things, so I'll talk different. Anyway, I got some more philosophies and membrane. Bruh, you know how as soon as you bust and blood goes back up in brain and you no longer insane? Well, I got a theory. Hats off. Any man that cheats, too lazy to jack off. That's all. Grown nigga, phone printer, facts, dog. Couple sheets in the front, you know where we at, dog. Living intact, taking a minute to grasp other definitive facts, digging them down, giving your soul, you won't be getting it back. I learned to limit my access. Like, no, you can't come to my house. I don't know where you at yet. But I'm gonna call you king, encourage you in the light. Bro, you ain't community pipe, you be a unit of life.
Woo!
And that's dear brother.
Oh, hey
like,
man, hey, why you, whoa. Hey, listen.
I wrote that
listen.
before I got engaged, bro.
When a pandemic open, bro, you gonna be killing open. You gonna be killing the stage with that one, bro. Like, hey, do you miss like real live performances, like in person? Hey, real talk. I think you froze real quick. When you come back, let me know. All right. When you come back, let me know. Real talk. When you come back, let me know. Hey yo. Hey yo. That was fire. Brandon, when you come back, I can see you. So signal to me when you come back, and I'll bring you back on. Wow, that was crazy. That was crazy. All right, I got it back. All right, we back.
We back.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I will use off for about a good 30 seconds.
Hey, listen. Before we even go further, man. Now that you did that piece, you got to let them know about your book, bro.
Man, all right. So listen, man. The Black Love mixtape is a collection of short stories, poems, and raps dedicated to uplifting the Black woman. Flip it open real quick. So the pages are black or white ink. On every page, there's a QR code. If you scan that QR code, the phone, you open up the camera and scan it, it goes to a private playlist of that artist spitting that piece. So it's an audio book built into the physical book. Ace Metaphor in the book, Jay Ivy in the book, Big Boy from Outkast in the book, Malcolm Jamal Warner in the book, the cop from Chicago PD, Lori Hawkins, that's my brother, he in the book. The book is off the chain. And so you can get it by texting Redbook. Here we go. I'm gonna put it in the chat. You're gonna text Redbook, hashtag Redbook to 404-585-7325. And you're gonna get the purchase link. It's gonna be $10 off, right? Because on Amazon it's 35, but I'm gonna give it to y'all for 25. You feel me? So it's called boom. Let me make sure I put this in the right chat box.
You put it in the chat box, I'll pin it.
And boom. Did I do it? Or no, is the chat at the top or the bottom? Okay. Click private chat on your side and maybe copy and paste it.
Oh, I see. Okay,
cool. In the comments part, yeah. So you text Redbook to that, and I'm gonna send y'all the link for that, and it's gonna come with a special bookmark that says everything I just said, you know. And really, man, the book, man, it's healing. Like I've had a lot of people hit me up being like, yo, like I listened to this book and like cried, you know what I'm saying, just to hear, because not often, man, we get you don't get often art of brothers just simply uplifting sisters just because, you know, not this conditional, I love you because you ain't kicked me out, you know, I love you because this, I love you because that. It's just I love you. And so I created that book being intentional, man, and really it's like a date night. It's several date nights, because I always tell people for maximum experience, read a piece silently, then you read it aloud, and then play the audio. And it gives it 3 different experiences, because once you play the audio, you may find out, oh, this is a spoken word piece, or oh, this is an R&B song. Oh, wow, I didn't know it was. I was just reading the lyrics. Or like one of my homeboys, God bless out, you know what I'm saying? But he sent the audio of like him spitting on the phone. He did a poem for his daughter. And so the audio for his piece is him spitting through the phone on the call from jail. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a really ill book, man. So thank you for being a part of it too, man. Because
man, anytime.
I go super duper far. Also, man, if you ever seen MTV News, the brother Doma T Pongo, he from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
He used to rock with Authentic. They went to school.
Yeah.
And so he's in the book. And you know, he's a super master. You know what I'm saying? And so, but yeah, man, that joint. And I got these shirts on the website too, man. Happily ever during. It's just a reminder to yourself, like, don't wait till later. You know what I'm saying? To claim your happiness. You gotta claim that. Like, oh, that's me. That's mine right now, not after. Because that's what the fairy tales are told girls all their life. You know what I'm saying? Happily ever after.
Right.
How we need during.
So listen, I want everybody to screenshot right now, because I know y'all memories, screenshot. So if you screenshot this, you will not have the number. All right. So I know y'all like, where my pen at? Where my pen? Just screenshot. Hit the screenshot on your phone real quick, and then you can save this. So you can make sure you text Red Book, all right, to 404-585-7325. Now listen, I want to keep bringing guests on this podcast. So when we bring guests, to show you guys that you actually appreciate it, make sure you support our guest. Make sure you support their merch. And listen, I have the book. Like, hey, he hit me up like, hey, don't you got a book? Mine is at, the crib with the wife and the kids, do you got the book I have it. Like, it's not like, so if I have it, I can vouch and say, this is a good book. It's not many times that I'm going to have somebody's product that I'm telling you to support. I actually own this one. So it's a really, really good book.
You know what I'm saying?
So make sure y'all supporting Brandon Alexander Williams. I appreciate and thank you so much for joining this podcast. You did your thing, man. We gotta do these more often, man. Because honestly, we need to normalize, like you said, these conversations between men and showing a different side of it. Because here's the thing, you're a married man. You know what I'm saying? And I really do feel like that getting that perspective from a married man, especially if me being unmarried right now, man, it helps me. So for brothers that strive to be married and want to know, okay, what's sort of like the mindset I need to have? What's some things that I need to improve on and change so I can be ready for that? Man, this will help out. This conversation will help out. So I appreciate you a lot.
Man, thank you, bro. Two things I want to say, right? Like things that you can for sure, like, I guess, to prepare for. And I want to say this for like any brother, like, period. So like one thing, and sisters can take this as well. One thing that I would encourage anybody to do, right, when it comes to just building a relationship and keeping it strong, oftentimes people say, well, y'all didn't communicate. Your communication was off. You didn't communicate. We hear that trillions of times, right? I want to introduce a new word. Bro, in your relationship, over-communicate.
Yeah.
Over-communicate. When it's a voice in your head, like, oh, I already know this means that. If you make the move, no. Let that voice speak and ask. If you aren't 99.9%, no, forget it. If you ain't 110% sure that she means what this actually means, ask. Overspeak. And she may be impatient because people are like, man, I just told you. How come you? I just want you to get me. No, you got to work on your patience. Because if I'm over-communicating, it can only be good. Only good can come from that. You know what I'm saying? And it will come from that. And so over-communicating is like, well, I said this thing and I thought it was offensive and your face frowned up. So I thought you was upset. And then you don't know that she wasn't upset because you didn't over-communicate.
Yeah.
Acted off of her thinking she's upset. Now you avoiding her and she got avoidance energy from you. And she's like, why is he treating me like this? And then it isn't until you have a blow up and you talk about the trail of it, you're like, oh, wasn't nothing even there. And it's like, you cancel that out by over communicating. So that's what I would say to married folks right now, because everybody need help. We all human beings. So I say in a relationship, in order to make your relationship work, over communicate. And so when you ask for that, you have to give the same amount of grace and the same amount of patience for, like, they're going to ask you a question over and over again. They're going to be like, all right, look, for a facetious example, look, I know you see right here on the screen, the number say 445857325, but is it like a 4, then a 0, then a 4? And it's like, yes, it is. You can't be like, I just told you. And you got to be like, no, yes, it is. It's a 4, then a 0, then you got the 4, yep, then a period, then a 5, then an 8. You got to be like that. Like children. Right? You're nice to children when they ask you things over and over and over again. And so we got to get out of that habit of, and really that's a type of PTSD too, right? Your parent told you, don't ask me no questions. And so you couldn't wait till you got older to tell your child to do that, or tell somebody else to quit asking. I just want you to know. He just gets me. No, he's going to get you because you're over communicating. and he's over
Yup.
communicating. So that's what I'm gonna say, bro. Like over communicate, and what that does is it operates differently in the brain. Because when I heard that phrase, you heard communication all the time. If I communicate, right? If I my version, you got a different version. She do. My wife got a different one, right? So it's like when you say, "Hey, communicate how you feel." If I say, "I ain't like that," that's just one statement. I don't know. You don't know how
Yeah.
much I didn't like it. You don't know what it triggers me back to, right? But when I over communicate, I fill in all them blanks so that you fully know. And guess what? The person still might make a mistake, and then it shows grace when you can forgive them. You know what I'm saying? And then it's
Yeah.
like, then you guys are growing. You know what it does? It creates a whole new level of intimacy that you never knew existed. And also, brother, I want to thank you publicly because me and my wife pull out 2 cards at random every night and read them to each other before we go to bed.
I appreciate it, man.
Let's talk. From the Let's Talk card game, bro. Over
I appreciate
communication,
it.
man. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Because
Man, hey, we gonna do this again.
for sure, man. For sure. Can I give them a one on the end?
Go ahead, man. Yeah, let's get it.
The other part of Dear Brother, right? This is why I talk about like talking to little boys. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see them. So like I say, hold your brothers accountable. I heard my partner say, I ain't gonna let my daughter date until she 18. I guess he thought it safest talk to automate the way she talk and conversate, how she ought to kind of all the way be under his rule with 100 rules. I say, you scared? He said, yeah, Joe. You know how he lives, trying to take down everything. We ain't show them love. When parents came around, we knew not to act dumb, and when they got born, we dipped right after that nub. I say, what? Your daughter too good for that? He like, watch your mouth. I say, bro, what you gonna do when she start to like them now? Break his jaw if he disrespect her? Catch a case? Now she vulnerable again because you the only one to just protect her? He said, I'm reluctant because I don't know them boys. When we was young, we didn't respect old men talking that noise. I say, no, we did respect old men that showed us poise and approached with love abundantly and didn't talk like we was under him. Damn right they don't respect you. You just stepped through, moved in the neighborhood they already in. All to begin. Fine wife, tall picket fence, walking your small dog in the park or in a gaudy sedan. You can't walk in auntie house unannounced without your shoes off and be antisocial, then ask us why our moves off. You better introduce y'all. That's rude, brother. You better introduce y'all and see, bro, help raise the boys on the block. So you ain't scared to let your daughters date the boys on the block. She'll be in the safe space made by the boys on the block from the code of honor that you gave the boys on the block. I say help raise the boys on the block. So you ain't scared to let your daughters date the boys on the block. She'll be in a safe space made by the boys on the block from the code of honor that you gave the boys on the block. Shit. Create a fathers union. Where the elder, I'm doing that right now. Create a fathers union where the elders can meet, share and compare wisdom, be hella discreet, and be there for the heirs neglected by the kings that chose to lead or get captured by the slave catchers for nonviolent crimes and rave gestures to wreck the place they grew on, where gave lectures by big homies that sprayed hecklers but still preach to be way better. So be way better. Hold your brothers accountable.
Hey, man, listen. Hey, man, you got to stop with those that hot fire bars with messages in it, man. Hey, yo,
And make it
that
cool.
line about what was it about the boys on the block? Can you
Help
repeat that
raise.
one?
I'm gonna type it so you could copy and paste. I say help
Yeah.
raise the boys on the block. So you ain't scared to let your daughters date the boys on the block. She'll
Right.
be in a safe space made by the boys on the block from the code of honor that you gave the boys on the block. Like, bro, like when I wrote this piece, one of my close friends just casually was like, yeah, man, my daughter can't date till she 18. And I knew why he said it, because we commonly say stuff like that. But I was thinking, like, do you know what you're saying? And I'm like, bro, like you're saying that like by the time your baby girl is 18 or whatever, old enough to date, that in that many amount of years, you wouldn't have done enough work in the community to change it? You assume the boys are gonna be like you were? No, do something about it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, and also, peep this. So this is what happens. Instead of your daughter coming home one day, God forbid, Daddy, such and such treated me like this, and now you're like, oh, let me go get my strap, right? But then you didn't call the case because you came out with your dad. You feel me? But now you can't keep doing that because eventually you're gonna catch a case, and when you do, your daughter's back vulnerable again. But check this out. Instead of this happened to me, it becomes, Dad, something almost happened to me at the school, but James and them jumped on Tony and them jumped on the boy. And then what you do, bro? This what you do. You be like, man, bring James and them to the crib. I'm finna cook him a meal and chop it up with him. But here's the kicker, bro. Bring the boy too.
Yeah.
Bring the boy too. We don't throw him away. We finna get him together. We gonna lump him up. Then we gonna lick his wounds and be like, this is why you don't do that. Because he just misguided. We don't throw him away. We don't throw him away. We gonna bring him in and now you got village. The village is protected by the boys on the block.
Hey, yo. Hey, let me say this. That what you just described, yo. Like it literally got me a little emotional because it's like that's what needs to happen. Like we really need to be active in our communities to help raise our men. You know, make it a space where we can educate and we can help rear. Like you said, it takes a village, and we all have to be actively involved because I guarantee you, if we do a better job collectively as men, instill helping instill values and giving positive role models, man, we can change so much, especially with our community. You know what I mean? Like, as this conversation, I'm like, yo, this is a conversation that every high school 9th grade boys class need to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Because these are the conversations. Like, think about the other influences that they're getting, but they're not getting this enough.
And we gotta be visible. And that's a call to action for us, bro. We got to be visible. We got to be visible. We got to be everywhere that they see the ain't shit niggas at. Where they see the drug dealers and all of that. We got to be there. Like Jesus with the people, bro. He was with the people. He wasn't just like, I'm just going to stay in the church and preach and then that's it. Like, we going to fish from here. It's like, no, like, we got to go out. We got to be fishers of men, bro. We got to go out and get it. And so it's like, but when I speak to the point in the piece about like you moving into a new place, a new neighborhood, and it's like these boys see you and they're like, oh, look at this man, he look cool as a motherfucker. Yo, look at his wife, dang, she beautiful. Look at his children, look at his car. Oh, that's dope. And then they see you and and then you're on some Stanley type shit. They stay off my lawn.
Yeah.
Or when something happened to your car, oh, you friendly now. Hey, did y'all see what happened? And look, and they over there like, nope, nah. What you gonna do? It's more of us than you. And then don't let your little girl grow up. And now you got your daughter fine too. Oh, bet. Oh yeah, I'm finna date her. What did Michael Scott say on The Office? I'm finna date her even harder. But like the boys be on that. Like, I'm hurt, black man, because you came, bro. How dare you come in my neighborhood looking cool and having all this that I want when I get older and don't give me access to you?
Yeah.
How dare you? I'm finna smash on you now. Like, yeah, I'm finna be all up on your lawn and everything. Cause you ain't finna do nothing to me. But when you extend that olive branch, now it's like, hey, that's Tony's daughter. No, she off limits.
Yeah.
We protect around here. But here's my thing. Let's spread it to the village. Let's not just have privilege to Tony's daughter. How about all the daughters in the community? But we get that by starting that example, by extending that olive branch. Look, come here, man. Let me show you something. Let me show you my books. Dang, what? How you do that? Because bro, once you hit that cool factor, they want to hear bro, there was a protocol when Caleb and Fanon first brought me into Chicago public schools. They say, listen, you got to come in there with some fresh kicks on. And when Kariga Bailey brought me to DC, he like, listen, kids are sneakerheads. Like that Wale stuff he be rapping about, like, it's for real. And I remember being there. Everybody got uniforms on. Everybody got exclusive kicks I've ever seen before. He like, bro, when you come in here, come in with some fresh shoes. They gonna listen to you. Just because they're like, dang, he got on Jordans. And they'll compliment you too. It's like, hey, you ain't listening to nothing. I'm listening to everything you say, bro, because you look cool. Bro, you came to my school. What's his name? The Ace what? Metaphor? I don't know, but his kicks was fire. So I'm finna listen because I might know how to get some kicks. But we gonna tell them way more than that though. You feel me? Or being able to rhyme, that's a superpower. You come in, show your superpower, they like, black man, teach me whatever you want. You can teach me how to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Be a plumber or whatever, but I'm listening to you because you're cool, bro. Because you look cool and you just showed me a superpower. You got superpowers, bro. And so we gotta go out there and reach to you. And then they're gonna be like, I wanna be like Buddy. I wanna be like dude that I see every day that gave me access to him. because he gonna tell me how to get to it. And so my gratitude is when I see his daughter, I ain't gonna do nothing but treat her with respect. I ain't gonna do nothing but adventure because he gonna support me. He gonna show up, and if I, you know what I'm saying, get locked up, I'll come. You wouldn't bail no. I know you would. You wouldn't bail no homie out. That's just like caught somebody like running up on your daughter, so he like elbowed him, and he was him, and the cop was like, "You just saw him elbow him." You're like, "Man, I'm gonna pay his bill, what?" And give him an attorney.
Yeah, and pick him up. And pick him up. Hook
Get
him
him.
up with my lawyer too. Like we
on,
it's
man,
good.
And then he gonna go and tell everybody, "Yo, man, bro, I did something righteous and got an award, a big one." You know what I'm saying? And you give it, like I say, you give him gas. Let me cook you a meal. That's love, bro. That's super love. And I remember the cat once again, bro. You remember cats in your neighborhood who showed you genuine love and you never forgot it. And there's other ones who didn't show you love on a regular basis, and you wouldn't piss on them if they was on fire, probably. It's teachers who treated you, who targeted you, who treated you a certain way, and you was just being a kid, and it's like you didn't have no heart, you didn't have no compassion. I ain't got no love for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the real turning of the cheek for me, because it's like, but like I say, they cause that wound so early. We gotta cause the opposite. We gotta come out there and soothe them. You know what I'm saying? With words of encouragement and real practical things of how to make it and wisdom. And we can't give wisdom and step away. You know what I'm saying? And we can't. Hey, you should do this. Because they're gonna be like, wait a second, what is this thing you're telling me to do? Did you do it? And what happened when you did it?
Yeah.
Give them the game, man. And so yeah, bro, you know we can go all night, man. But yeah, bro, that's
we gotta do a part 2, man. We gotta do a part 2.
Help raise the boys in the block, bro. Yeah.
You already know. Listen, I ain't got no job no more, so I'm always free. So whenever you get a free moment or whatever, just hit me up. You already know.
For sure, man. Hold on, let me see. I was writing out this rhyme while we was talking. It's hard to do it at the same time. So this is the rhyme, so you can pin it for a couple minutes. But I just posted in the private chat. But like, that's the key, bro, and that's the key to like the future, because also, like, the youngins, I'll just say, the 2000s babies, they know the internet better than we do. You feel me? They just do. And so their experience and their story is important. And so we have to have those connections with them. We have to. And so while we have those connections, let's give them all the wisdom that we got and support them too. Because just like, sometimes a man's presence changes the whole dynamic of any energy, the business dynamic, all of that. Just because you're around, people won't try nothing. I know, like, and I'm not even a violent dude, but my resting face, I look aggressive. I've seen people omit. I'm not gonna ask them. You know what I'm saying? So like, we need to be that. We need to be present sometimes, man, in the community, bro. And so that's gonna help create the type of men that we aspire to be now. But they gonna do it early.
Yep.
Once it becomes a gang of men doing right or boys doing right, other boys gonna want to be. I want to be down with them. I want to be down with them. They got superpowers and they got strength numbers. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, bro. Get that red book. You just went off school.
I'm back.
Oh, okay.
My battery be dying.
Hey man, that happens. It happens.
So I'm yeah, it got an hour battery life. But look, I appreciate you, and let's link up again, man. I appreciate you. Make sure y'all go get his book too.
Mm-hmm.
Text Red Book
to
404-585-7325.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I'm getting a text, so y'all got the correct number. If you know what I'm saying, if you did that. But also, if once again, if you just text that so you can get the discount. We ain't gonna tell you where else to get it at. But also, like I say, my IG is Brandon Alexander Williams. And Ace, man, we gonna be in tune, man. I'm gonna be in tune with you, and I'm gonna give you some wisdom of game that I got. You know what I'm saying? Some off-air game.
All right, you already know. All right, buddy.
All right, man. Peace. Love you, brother.
All right, love y'all.